Hello everyone and welcome back to Hacksplained. Today I'm excited to demonstrate to you how you can connect your Burp Suite Community Edition with your browser to actually start intercepting all those requests. In order to show you today how it is possible to actually intercept traffic between your web browser and a web server, we need a website that we want to monitor first. And we're going to use OWASP Choose Shop for that. In case you haven't heard of OWASP Choose Shop before, make sure to check out my video that I recently uploaded to YouTube where I explain to you step by step how you can set up OWASP Choose Shop by yourself and what it is. So let's switch to this slide that I have provided for you to give you an idea what we want to achieve today. So if you look at this picture, you see your computer, your notebook, and on that computer you're having your web browser open, whatever it is, may it be Google Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge, or Safari if you're running on a Mac. And then on the other end of the world, you have a web server standing somewhere which provides the actual information that you want to get and retrieve. But clicking at a specific button within your browser, you know that you're sending something to the server, but you don't really know what it is. And in return, the server is sending you something back and you see the change on your screen, but you still don't really know what you just got. In order to make this a little bit more visible, we can now make use of a web intercepting proxy like Burp Suite Community Edition and put it straight in between. And what you achieve with that is you finally get to know the actual HTTP message that is being sent between your web browser and the server. And what you can see here, this is a basic HTTP GET request being sent to the web server with a couple of request headers that we're not going to cover in this session. The server, on the other hand, responds with an HTTP response. As you can see, there's also a couple of response headers in there. Again, we're going to cover those later. You see that the server sent back an HTML page. You see the HTML tags that you get back and the information that is actually going to be provided and rendered within your web browser. So how can you achieve that right now to get to the situation where you can use Burp to actually see all that information? And this is what I want to show you right now. So let's go to our Burp Suite Community Edition start window and just click on temporary project for now. You click on next, and then you're getting asked if you want to select the specific configuration. Again, for the start, you can just go with the Burp default values and say use Burp defaults. Next, click on start Burp and wait for a second. And then you reach the Burp start screen. So what do we have to do first in order to connect Burp with your web browser? First thing you gotta do is you go to the proxy tab up here, and then you go to the options tab, and you see that Burp has a proxy listener which is used to receive incoming HTTP requests from your browser. It tells you that you will have to configure it within your browser in order for the intercepting proxy to actually work. And this is what we're going to do right now. So click on import and export a CA certificate. There you see this mask popping up, and you want to click on certificate in DER format. Next up, you click on next and choose a file where you're going to store that. In our case, we are going to give this a name, hacksplained.der, make sure to store it in the DER file format. You can select any random name that you want to give it. It doesn't have to be called hexplain, but make sure to give it the DER file ending. You click on save, you click on next, and the certificate was successfully exported. Next up, you go back into your web browser. In my case, I'm using Firefox, and you want to go to the options of your web browser. In your case, if you're using a different browser, this might look a little different, but all the major browsers come with an options section that you can select. The next thing you want to do is find the certificate section within your options. And what you can do is you can view the certificates, and you see, for example, authorities which are getting trusted. And the next thing you gotta do is you have to import your DER certificate that we've created a minute ago in order to let your browser know that this is a trusted authority. So let's click that, click open, and you want to say, if I'm communicating with a website, I want to trust this authority. So click this checkbox over here to identify websites and click on OK. The next thing you can see is if you go to Portswigger, which is the company behind Burp, you will see that you have now successfully imported the Portswigger certificate authority into your web browser. So you can just close this window by clicking on OK and close this tab up here, and then go back to OWASP Choose Shop. And what we want to do right now is we want to see those requests that we've seen before actually coming in within Burp. So let's go back to Burp and make sure that we are checking the config for the listener. And this is what you see over here. The listener is running on our local host, on our local machine, on port 8080. So next up, what we gotta do is we have to tell and let the browser know that it has to communicate with our local machine on port 8080. And how can we do that? In my case, you can see a little add-on that I've installed up here, which is called Foxy Proxy, and I advise you to do that. So just go, in case you're using Firefox, to the add-on section and install Foxy Proxy, or in case you're using any other browser, go to the add-on section and install yourself a proxy manager, because that just makes it easier to manage all your proxy settings within your browser. And if I go to options, I can see that I already have put down an entry called Burp. And this entry is listening on 127.0.0.1, and the port is 7001. Let's remember that for now and click on save, close the tab, and let's go back to Burp. And I just showed you that my proxy listener is configured to listen on port 8080, but my browser wants to send it to a different port. So what we can do is we click on edit within Burp and change this value to 7001. Let's click OK, and let's go back to our browser. Next up, we say that we actually want to use Burp to be in between our conversation. So now that we've activated that, we can click on the link, for example, the main OWASP Choose Shop one, and go back to Burp. What we should see now is that there are requests coming in. If we click on, for example, the Apple Choose image, we see that Burp already intercepts and starts to intercept the requests that are going out to the web server to OWASP Choose Shop. And it gives me the possibility to intercept those requests, have a look at them, and actually manipulate them. But in this section, we're not going to do that. I just turn off intercept and go to my HTTP history. And in here, you can see that this click on the Apple shoes actually created 4 different requests going out. So if we go back to Shoe Shop and click on the banana shoes, for example, we see the banana shoes popping up. And looking at Burp, we see that this actually created another section of requests with our request put down in the request section and the request tab down here, and our response being shown in the response section right here. Alright, this was everything for today's session. I hope you guys liked it. Check out my other videos, make sure to subscribe, check out this entire playlist on how to use Burp, and hit me up with any questions in the comment section in case this was a little bit too difficult for you, or if you have any further questions. Thank you for watching and have a great day.